Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Soren, and today, as always, I am talking about finance. More specifically, there's a website company called Ticker, which is pretty new, a stock research website, which approached me to review their beta model and give them feedback, do whatever. And I asked them if I could make a YouTube video about it, and they were very excited about that, so here we are. So I'll link them in the description if you're interested, but they're not paying me anything. This is not a sponsored video. I'm not trying to sell you anything. Just had to get that out of the way. I just felt like I had to say that. So this is my honest, unbiased opinion of the website. So yeah, let's start. So I'll start with the pros. I have a note card here, but so yeah, it's a good, it's a good website. I thought it's not like one of those weird old websites that you go onto and then it has it just doesn't have good typography and stuff. It has descriptions of the companies that when you look them up. It also, when there are negative numbers, they have them in parentheses and in red, and then positive in green or black, I don't remember. But then that's how you do it in accounting, so I thought that was very professional. They have a lot of information on it, which is really good, pretty well organized. One thing I will say is when you're looking at the numbers, it's, I don't know if this bothers you. Personally, it bothers me. It's not a huge thing, but you know when you're scrolling down a page and then there's a separate window inside that window to scroll on? That's how their numbers are. I'd prefer it if they were just embedded in the page, so that as you're scrolling down the page, you're scrolling down the numbers, because otherwise you have to make sure your cursor's in the right spot, and it looks weird, in my opinion. It's pretty easy to navigate, and it's pretty intuitive. Things are well labeled, pretty easy to find. There's a good sidebar to look at everything. And yeah, so it's great. It's just overall a solid website. I will use it in the future, and I would recommend it. It has a watch list feature, so that you can find stocks and then get an idea of how they're doing over longer periods of time. Going into that though, there are some other researching tools I use as well, and just stock trackers, which I'm going to make reviews on later on, like the investing.com app, the morningstar.com, koifin.com, things like that. None of those are sponsoring me either, just wanted to all say all of their names. And so I'll talk about those later on. But basically, they have the ability for you to make a watch list. However, I'd prefer if you could make a watch list and a portfolio, so they're separate and then they're labeled that way. You can go in and label them yourself. I just think it's a nice touch. It doesn't I don't think, adds all that much more effort. Speaking as someone who has programmed their own websites. But yeah, so again, scrolling's not great. Also, it would be interesting if they added like a blogging platform so that they can produce content like Seeking Alpha or Morningstar, to get a little, even though they have a paragraph description of each company, it'd be interesting to see that, or at least have headlines linked in at the bottom of each of them with like different things, so that you can hear about recent news about all of the businesses. That is possible if you put the companies into your watch list, but if you're just doing research, I find that to be helpful. Yeah, I think also another thing, you might be able to do this. I wasn't able to find an easy way to, but changing the statistics so that you can on your watch list, so that you can just track the numbers that you want to track, and then you can also get a better idea of the companies, as opposed to only just looking at share price and the things that they pick out for you. That was a big thing for me. But yeah, overall, I really like the website. I definitely will use it in the future. It will be in the rotation. It has some great information. It's not as technical as places like Koifin, which is good, but it still has like your balance sheet and says things like that. So it's not, um, it's kind of halfway between Morningstar and Koifin if you used either of those, with a little bit of touches from the investing.com app. So it's a kind of in the middle of all the things that I use, but it works really well, so I can kind of have all of those things, and just if I'm doing a more quick look, all in one place. But as I said, it's a really great website, has all these things, but there are definitely some drawbacks, which they're working on. This is just the beta model, and I think if you're looking for more in-depth research, I'd recommend going to koifin.com or something like that to get more like hard facts, numbers. Not saying that their information isn't reliable, more of Koifin's less spruced up, I'd say. So it's more raw numbers and less easy to, a little bit harder to navigate, but I'll talk about that in my review of that later this week. So if you like this video, please consider subscribing and definitely hit the like button. It really helps the channel and is great for the YouTube algorithm. We're a very small channel right now, and it would help us greatly if you could help us grow. Otherwise, I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in the next video.